Hello, my name is Audrey, and welcome to One Jamaica TV. Today we are bringing you a story of a mother whose child was beaten in a Portmore school. When the mother tried to address the issue with the school, instead of being helped, she was shunned. She then wrote a letter to the Ministry of Education and also filed a police report, but the issue was still not addressed. She then reached out to CVM TV, who took the story, and here is the clip.
Let's call her Sue. After sending her 5-year-old son to summer school at the Southborough Primary School in Portmore, St. Catherine, noticed a change in her son's behavior one evening after picking him up from the compound. And after investigating the issue, she learned the child was allegedly beaten by his teacher.
This is something that I've told his teacher before, that he has a little more energy than the regular children, so he might move around a little more. It might be a little hard for him to stay one place, and he tend to fidget a lot.
The alleged reason for the teacher's frustration. But it happened again, this time with more force and another teacher. Though Sue reported the matter to the Ministry of Education's Region 6 office, she says no attention was being given to her, and when she finally got a meeting arranged, she was allegedly mocked by the principal. She says his wife, the vice principal, however, seemed uncomfortable.
Well, she was there and she saw the reaction. I get to understand that the vice principal there is also his wife, and yes, is also his wife, and they are working there together for many years. And she was even gesturing to him to tone down on his behavior. Like, that's what I get from seeing her gesturing to him many times. And he was just there mocking me about my child. One of the statements that he had made was that, if your pitney got through so much thing in the school, why you bother to bring him back here?
She also recounts that in one incident, she received a call from the school asking her to collect her son, who was playing and was reportedly shoved by an older student. She says they told her son fell and hit his head on a rock.
When I got there, because I looked around and didn't see my child, so I decided to, go and look to see what is happening to that child. So when I get in there now, I saw my child to himself bleeding, while the adults, about 4 or 5 teachers were there, including his grade teacher, and they all stood aside looking at him. The child was there. Everybody just stood to themselves, like everybody just decides to them now look on him, because I say they not put them on from a pitney.
Efforts to reach the Southborough Primary School administration proved futile. However, we were informed later today that the ministry has since responded with a view to investigate the matter.
I cannot believe in this time that teachers are still allowed to beat children. With the advancement of technology, education, and development, we should adapt to new ways to deal with our children and recognize that these children are the future. We have to find new ways to address behavior in school, and abusing is not the way. The mother did not give up, and she reached out to Mr. Joseph Paddison from the United Independent Congress. And here goes the interview.
All right, so good evening. I'm going to call you Carol. That's not your real name, but I'm going to call it Carol to make sure that nobody knows who you are. Thank you for being here with us this evening to talk about a very important matter. As a mother, as a parent, I know you're concerned, and as a country, we should be concerned as well. So I want to start off my question by asking you to tell me about your son. How old is he, and any special conditions that he may suffer?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I love that name, Carol, by the way.
Good.
And yes, about my son, he's currently 6 years old right now. I observed my son and I realized that he's a little more active than the normal children. You know, he displays a lot more energy than the regular children, and so it's not so easy to deal with him because when you give him instruction, you have to ensure that he understands. So you have to give clear instruction to him, and you have to ensure that he gets what you're saying. He is mostly in a rush to do things, so at times he does not complete whatever task that is given to him. Also, with all of these observations that I found while observing my son, I went ahead and did an assessment. So an assessment was done. I'm still awaiting the written reports of that assessment, and whichever school that he goes to is fully aware of these condition that my son, or situation, or issues that you may find in my son.
So he's not yet diagnosed with anything. He's not diagnosed with any problem. So not professionally. So he has not been labeled as having anything like ADD or whatever. No issues.
I haven't
Not
received anything written. Right, but I was told, based on what I thought that could have been the issue, it was kind of confirmed, verbally.
By somebody who is a professional, trained in the field, to give that
Yes,
assessment?
but I rather to deal with it, or act upon it with a written when I get the written report.
What I'm trying to assess to is that you have not gotten a professional diagnosis that's written to say this is the case.
No, I haven't got anything written as yet.
Okay, but you suspect, based on his behavior, that he is, what would you call it? What does he have?
Well, I suspect that he's ADHD, hyperactivity, impulsiveness. I expect that he has that.
Normally.
Yes.
Hyperactive.
Yes, as I said, he displays a lot more energy than the norm.
The normal child.
I must say, because talking about this now, you kind of open back my memory to something that happened. An assessment that was actually done privately, but it is not something that I would speak on because I don't think it's accurate, right? So I went ahead and have it done at from a professional angle, and they communicated with me, and that proved that whatever was done before, it's not accurate. So I'm not even going to think about that one. And that was recently posted to me sometime in January. So it was just a waste of money. Right.
So as a parent, at home with him, you have your own challenges as a parent at home, right?
Yes, you're going with children like these, you're going to experience some challenges. You understand?
Like
because well, you have to speak to him numerous times, and as I said, you
that's
can't.
normal for most 6 years old. You have to talk to them many
Well,
times.
if a normal 6-year-old, you'd speak to them like 6 times, you'd have to speak to him about 20 times.
Oh, okay.
So it's above
It's above
normal.
normal.
Right.
Do you have any other children?
No.
Okay, so this is your first and only child.
Yes, this is my heartbeat.
Right. So have you ever seen any other child like him in any of your family circle or friends? Do they have anybody else with similar situation?
Not in my family. I have visited, persons that, for example, my hairdresser, I saw, kids, come around, and I saw where they display, similar behavior.
Tendency.
Based on the information that was given to me by persons that live there, even the very parents, they have, lost it and take it out on the child. But
So quite abusive.
well, it would seem that way, but remember, the fact that it is your child.
Right. Yes.
You know your limits. I mean, you might lose it a bit, but you're not going to
Right.
damage your child.
Okay. No problem.
Like a stranger would do.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So, tell me now about the teachers. How are they handling the problem with him at school? Um, and are you happy with the way that they've dealt with it?
Oh gosh, the teachers are very unprofessional, and they are uncaring, unsympathetic. They are just, they shouldn't be in the classroom. That's my personal view, based on what I see. They shouldn't
What
be
are
in the
you seeing?
classroom.
Tell us your experience as a parent. What have you seen with your child, and how teachers have reacted to this situation?
Well, first and foremost, teachers, they don't expect children to come in the classroom and move around. They expect a child to come and just sit still, and that is wrong. That is wrong. And when the child does not do that now, if I don't know, I mean, if you take a trip one of these days and you visit the classroom, you would see that they have a stick on their table, or a long piece of ruler or something with them use. That is what they use to bully the children.
Like when we were kids.
Well, I don't remember the time when I was that young like that, but
When you were a kid, you never get caning?
I
Or you were sheltered? You were.
maybe with the belt or something, but I mean,
Yeah.
these nowadays people, they anything reach them and them use
Yeah.
it.
No, it was bad in my time. In my time, I mean, we had teachers who, to me, they seemed to love beat people picnic. And they would come to school, they had long cane, they have belts, and some have rubber and, stick. So I'm asking is that the kind of thing you're still seeing today? I mean, back in the days, in my case, you're talking some 40 years ago, some 30 years ago. Are you saying today
It is
there
still
are
happening.
teachers with canes and with sticks
Yes.
and with stuff that they're still
Yes.
beating children in class today?
Yes.
Your child has suffered at the hands of.
Suffered badly, repeatedly, even from early childhood. When my child,
That's 3 years old.
that's when he was, within that time
Yeah,
frame.
between 3 and now.
Right.
Because at age 6,
3
he's
to
now in
4.
grade 1. Is he grade 1 now, or is he
Grade
studying-
1 now.
Grade 1 now.
Right.
So you're saying when he was in basic school,
Yes.
what they call ECE now, early childhood education,
Exactly.
he was being
Beaten.
abused, physically beaten
Numerous
by teachers.
times.
Numerous times.
ECC did the investigation because when I pick up my child, as in coming out of the vehicle, him tell me, say teacher beat me, and he demonstrates,
Wow.
right? So he show me how the teacher beat him, and I asked her.
Tell me how.
Him demonstrate and say the teacher beat me with the ruler like this,
Lick
and
him
he kept
with the
slapping
ruler.
himself. Yes. And I did verify it. It's the first time I was hearing something like that from him. So I did ask about it, and the teacher admit. So she confirmed it on numerous times. I warned her. I tell her, do not make it happen again, and it did.
Again.
So when I started talking about it, she locked me out of the school.
She locked you out of the school.
Right. So my son couldn't go back to the school.
So when you show up with him, they said you're not allowed to enter.
Right, they lock us out. They
This
took
was
up
the
his
basic
book.
school?
Yes, they took up his book and just push it through the gate and give me.
Oh.
Yes.
And then not to come back with him.
And we couldn't go back to the school
Did
because
you
we
report
talk
this to
about.
anyone?
Yes, I took it I spoke to the police at Caymanas police station. They gave me a receipt. They even went. I think they went there at the time, and I don't remember if they got somebody to talk to at the time, but nevertheless, I reported it, and ECC did the investigation and found out that the child was being abused there because one of the teachers admitted it there, that the teacher, who is, I think she's also in charge, she would take the child around the corner and just like beat the hell out of him.
Just take him around the corner of the school and beat him.
Beat him. And what they don't understand, beating don't work with these children. You're going to kill them because they can't stop.
Right.
It's something that they can't help with themselves. So it is not going to help.
And this was all in basic school.
This was in basic school.
Between age
And I still have the
3
reports.
and 6.
And the ECC has done nothing but just warn the school. They visit the school and found out that the school was in a lot of breaches. The school is located in Portmore, of course. So he just started September and he had to drop out there and then.
What is ECC? What does the acronym mean?
Early childhood early childhood commissioner. I don't remember.
Early
But
Childhood Commission.
yeah.
Okay. So the Early Childhood Commission, you made a report to them. You also got a police report, you said.
Yes, I do.
And
I have the report
the
that
police
they
did
did.
nothing.
Well, I don't up
Did
to
they
now.
do anything? The police, did they do
I
anything?
don't see where they went there and arrest anybody for anything. I mean, it's
So
it's abuse.
You reported the abuse. You reported the physical abuse of your child to the police,
Right.
and then they did nothing after that.
I don't see where they did anything. I don't see anybody get arrested or anything like that.
And you reported it to the ECC.
Yes, and I got
And-
they did their investigation, and I got a report of the investigation, and no arrest was done. It's just a simple warning.
So what was the report? Did it say we checked and what you're saying is true?
Yes,
or
yes,
it's
it was
true?
confirmed.
Did they apologize to you?
Nothing out of it, and
So hold on. So you reported to them that your child was abused by a
Yes.
teacher. Is that a
Yes.
teacher or a principal?
I believe that she also teaches,
Also, it was
but
both-
I
it
think
was both
she's also the
and
principal,
teacher.
right?
So she was the head person.
Right.
That's why she could lock you out.
Right.
And so you reported her to the police,
Mm-hmm.
which took your report, gave you a receipt, and did nothing. Then
Nothing.
you reported it to the ECC,
Right.
that's the Early Childhood Commission,
Yeah.
and they investigated, came back and said to you, yeah, what you tell us is true,
Right.
and then they close it and move on.
Nothing happened.
What
Only
year
thing
was
they
that?
said is that they went there and they inspect the place and did their investigation and found that the child was indeed being beaten, and they have a lot of breaches there, which they are keeping an eye on the institution and expect that they would wrap up themselves, fix up the any breaches, they would rectify it and so forth. But nothing has been done. I said to them, but I mean, look at it. This is even a total loss. My child has been beaten. I recently buy book and school clothes for him. All of that I go down the drain,
And they have pushed him out of school.
nothing was
And
done.
nothing at
No, this
all.
is why this behavior continue, because I know that nothing is going to come out of it.
Wow. What year was that?
That was in I think year probably 22 there about.
Okay. So near
I have
to
it in my
near to the
email,
end,
so if you
right,
need
near
it.
to the end. No problem.
Yeah.
We're going to get the exact one. So basically 2022,
Yes.
21, 22,
Right.
sometime there. And nothing was done. So now he's in primary school now?
Yes.
He's in primary school. And are you experiencing similar issues?
As him not even touch primary school good, them start beating.
My goodness.
He started in what you call it, summer class, July last year. And I found out that he was being abused by a male teacher there.
When you say abuse, what do you mean?
Well, the teacher just kept, beating him with a stick or a ruler.
Okay.
That, as I said, they normally keep like a stick or a ruler in the class that they use to intimidate the children, because they believe that the children should sit one place. And the funny thing about it, when I went there, I said I spoke to the teacher himself, and I said to him that my child is like this. He fidgets a lot. He has a little more energy than the rest. I think that he's hyperactive. That is before I get any information from any professional individual. So I tell him all of this information, so he's fully aware.
Right.
But each time the child comes to me and tell me that he gets up to complain about another child, throwing something in his face, and the teacher would just slap him, just start beat him.
So he reports to the teacher that another child
He tries to report,
and
and the
another
teacher just
child,
beat him.
and he tells you that. Your
Yes.
son tells you that.
Yes.
Do you see any evidence on his skin or anything?
Let me tell you, these people are smart. They tend to beat them in their hand, where you don't really see the damage done.
Okay.
Right, they tend to do that a lot.
Right. So
Because
when
they
he comes
don't.
in, his hand is red though.
At the time when I pick him up, because remember, it can be done from in the morning hours, and by the time you pick him
It
up, you
wears
wouldn't,
off.
right, you wouldn't be seeing
Right.
a lot of that.
So it's just a complaint and he tells you.
Right.
But do you have any
he
evidence?
admitted, and the principal was fully aware, and they gave an apology. That's why I didn't move him
Was it
from
a
there.
written apology?
No, it was a verbal apology.
So let me follow this. So your son comes home and he tells you that he was beaten by this teacher, You went to the school.
When I pick him up.
When you pick him up, you went to the principal or the teacher. Who you
I went to the principal. I was too angry to go to the teacher.
Right.
Trust me, I was really
I can
too
imagine.
angry.
So you went to the principal and you reported to her what your son told you.
Him, yes,
And the principal, the principal is a him,
yes.
and the principal said he would look into it.
He was defending him at first because he was like, I know
Yeah.
this teacher for 40 years. He would never hit
Never
a
do-
child.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he would never do this. He would never do that. And he kept backing him.
But that is a lie. If they already have a stick on their desk.
No, he knows that the teacher beats a lot because
Yeah.
it's more than one complaint happened at the school.
Not just you, other
From
parents.
right,
Yeah.
coming from
That same school.
that teacher, the
Was
assault
that
that
school
teacher.
in the news at any time at all? Was that school in the
Yes,
news? Okay.
yes, it was in the school. Do you mind me calling the name?
Go ahead.
That's Southborough Primary School.
Southborough Primary.
Yes,
School.
Southborough Primary
And
School.
they were in the news
Yes.
for administering physical punishment.
Corporal punishment.
Corporal punishment
Yes,
to
on
students.
children. Yes,
And it was in
and
the
it's
news.
not just my child alone.
But did anything come of it when it went in the news? Anything came of it?
I realize that these people are trying to stay as silent as possible. Let me tell you, the ministry, I am very disappointed. The
Ministry
ministry,
of Education.
they have a man and wife running the school that should not be. That is conflict of interest. The man is the husband is the principal and the wife is the vice principal.
Oh.
No, tell me,
Okay.
is that supposed to be happening?
Okay. Well,
Do you think that's supposed to
sounds
be happening?
Quite problematic. That's a conflict of interest.
Well, the minister herself is fully aware of it because I call her and I speak to her. I also
Which
spoke.
minister is that?
That's
Favour?
Favour
Favour
Williams. I
Okay.
spoke to her, and I
So you
also
spoke to Favour Williams
yes,
directly.
yes,
And
on
you-
the phone.
And you pointed this out to her that
Yes.
the school, as a wife and husband,
Yes,
as principal and vice principal,
Yes.
and that your child was abused.
yes, she's
told
fully
her
aware.
that.
I also send her an email about
Yes.
the matter as well.
Southborough Primary
Southborough
School.
Primary School.
And you're saying you reported this not only to the principal,
Right.
but to the Minister of
The minister
Education
herself and the PS, the permanent
and
secretary,
the permanent secretary
Miss
as well.
Choate.
Miss what?
Miss Choate.
Miss Choate. That's fine. Don't
Yes.
worry, Miss Choate. So you have reported this, and it has been in the news as well.
Yes, and
That's-
also to the Region 6 officer and the Region 6 supervisor who has also been disrespectful. All of them is trying to
So
just
you,
cover
so you
it
have
out.
gone through the full gamut. You have,
Yeah.
you have spoken to everybody.
OCR, CPSFA,
Yeah.
which I believe when I spoke to, I believe they even admitted that they had beaten my child before to the FSA, but they also said that an apology was given to my child verbally.
To your
So that
child?
was, yeah. So that was admitted.
And they apologized to your child verbally.
Yes.
And they also apologized to you verbally? Did anybody apologize to you verbally?
They at the time, if I remember correctly, I think they did.
Verbally.
Yes, it's just verbally.
But nobody but at the end of the day though,
But then
nobody has been penalized.
nobody's been penalized. They're trying to cover up even the recent incident that happened with his farm teacher. That's when he started school there.
When was that?
September, the first week in September. By Thursday, my child complained.
The first week in
About-
September.
right.
What did they do to him?
The teacher beat him with ruler and thumping on him hand. So the abuse just keep getting worse. When I went there to speak to her, I sent her a message the same evening. That was Thursday evening when I picked up my child, and she said to me that I should visit her the next day. So when I went there, I spoke to the security because we are not supposed to be allowed on the compound certain time, right? So I was allowed because of the abuse that I spoke to him about. So the teacher came out and speak to me, right, at the door, and the principal came around, saw what was happening. The security was trying to tell him that, she's here on the compound because her child was being abused, and so she's here to speak to the teacher. But the principal kept shouting and ignoring the security officer, saying to the teacher that, no one's supposed to be here talking to you now. You're supposed to be running the class, so you're not supposed to be here speaking to any parents or anyone. You're supposed to be watching over the students. So him don't care at all.
Who is that?
That's the principal for the
Principal
school.
said
Yeah,
that.
he
Okay.
doesn't care. He has no regard for what happened.
What's his name?
His name is Carly Thompson.
Collie
Yes,
Thompson.
yes.
Collie Thompson. He's the principal of the Southborough
Southborough.
Primary School.
That is
And
correct.
what's the name of the vice principal?
His wife, Mrs. Thompson.
Well, Mrs. Thompson, of course.
Yeah,
So
those-
Mr. and Mrs. Thompson running the Southborough Primary School. And you have reported them. You have reported the incident of, what's the name of the teacher that did the beating?
The teacher that did the class that he was in, that he was abused by the teacher.
Yeah.
Which one of them? Should I mention the two of them
primary
names?
school.
The two of them name? Because it's two different teachers, you know.
Oh, the primary school.
Right.
Okay.
A male teacher first. His
Yes.
name is Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown,
And the female teacher, her name is Miss Jordan.
Miss Jordan. So both of them have physically abused your child.
Right, and it was reported. It was reported to the principal, the Region 6 officer, was also reported to the minister herself, the PS.
Yes.
You know, everybody that I can get this information to. I reported it to the OCR, reported it to CPSSA, and it's not just my child alone being beaten by her.
Okay, all right. Let's take a quick break and we'll come right back to this discussion in a moment. All right?
All right, no
Just
problem.
1 minute. Right, so welcome back, Carol. That's a name I've made up for you.
Yes.
And soon we're going to talk to your son, Junior, which is a name I've made up for him as well.
Right.
So far, you have really explained to us some very uncomfortable thought. And where we were was the idea of you reporting the matter to the principal of the school, the Southborough Primary School.
Yes.
Whose wife is the vice principal of the school.
Yes.
And there are two teachers that have
Physically abused
physically abused your
my
child.
son. Yes, corporal punishment.
And you have carried this all the way up the chain of command to the minister.
Yes.
Minister of Education.
Right.
And are you telling me that they have now swept it under the carpet?
Well, it appears that way because even the injury that my son was injured in the school and was supposed to be compensated, we have not been compensated up until now.
When you say injured, what happened to him?
Another student from a higher grade pushed him down. His head hit on a rock.
Oh,
So there was he was bleeding at the time when I get there, and I realized that all of the adults, the teachers, about 5 of them or so, they stood off, right? And my son was there by himself, head injury, and none of them would look after him, none of them would coax him. As a child, none of them would look
so
at him.
nobody administered medical attention
And he was still 5-year-old at the
or
time.
called any medical
Nothing.
assistance?
Nothing. When I
Not the
when I
principal,
finally
not
got
the
there,
teacher.
the principal wouldn't even speak to me. The only thing I was told is that school was over, and that's what the secretary told me.
Is
That
it that
school
they're
was.
carrying a grudge?
I think so because it's obvious.
So because you
because
have
they can't
reported
beat
the
my
situation,
child, right?
Because you had reported the situation, now you're being victimized.
That is
and your
correct.
child is being victimized
That is
because
correct.
you should not have reported the matter.
Right, and
And
they should be freely
free
able to beat
him,
my
yeah,
child.
without any repercussion.
That is correct.
So far they've gotten away with it. So far,
It seems that way.
and you
And
want
the PS is aware of the I
PS,
sent her
what's the PS?
the permanent
The
secretary.
permanent secretary,
Right.
yes.
I sent her the receipts and all of that, which she said I should send her so that she can
That's the
compensate
police
me.
report receipt.
No, the injury
Oh, the injury receipt.
the injury
Okay,
receipt.
okay.
So that she could compensate me back, but I haven't
You
heard
mean
from her.
You got medical attention for him.
Yes.
And she's saying, send us the receipt for that medical attention.
Right.
And not even the funds for that you haven't gotten.
Nope, because the principal himself refused to deal with it, saying that he's no longer a student at the school. Can you imagine?
So when this happened, he was a student.
He
at
was
the
a
school.
student there.
And
This happened in September.
And after they have put you out. Did they put you out?
Yes.
They tell you to withdraw your child.
Well, I had to stop. Well, I did not send my child to school because he kept complaining about the teacher every day. She put him on the floor beside Angst, and she drag him out every time he complains. Him and hurt him,
Yeah.
and the teacher keep on beat him. And sometimes he have him pains, and the teacher just take him and dash it away. The teacher put him in a classroom and say him rude and have other pitney them a call him rude too.
Yeah.
You know, that is a lot. It's just a lot. It's a lot, and it affects him so much that he even, you know, wake up and crying. And when I asked him what is the matter, he complained that, you know, teacher beat him. So he's reliving the moment.
Right.
He was, yes, and he was referred to counseling. You know, and trust me, even the guidance counselor there, all of them is just a syndicate. You understand?
Working
None
together.
of them, exactly.
So
None
really,
of them
so
is
telling me
help.
now, was this reported to the news media, you said?
Yes.
So the news know about it, the journalists in
CVM
know about it.
Yes, and
So CVM know about it. Who else?
Muta did
Baruka knows about
right.
it. And the Minister of Education knows about it.
Yes.
And the Permanent Secretary in the
Yes.
Ministry of Education knows about it.
Yes, and Region 6 supervisor and officers know
And
about
Region 6 supervisors and officers know about it.
Yes, I've been
and
there.
The principal know about it.
Everybody
and the
know
vice
about
principal know about it.
OCA.
And the teacher, what's OCA?
Office of the Children Registry.
Oh my goodness.
The Children Advocate. They have not even, I don't see where they even came and advocate for my child. I spoke to, I even went up there and spoke to a legal individual up by Children Advocate. Do you need me to call her name?
Sure.
Miss Green. Her name is Miss Green. And I asked her if she's not coming to represent my child in this matter. But you know, everybody then
so even the Children's Advocate is on your side?
No, nobody is doing anything.
So what's wrong with you? Something must be wrong with you because nobody don't want to help you. CVM don't want to help you.
I don't think it's anything wrong with me. I think something is wrong with the country.
Right. So that's the problem. So because he's only 6 years old today.
Yes. The leaders
and
are
this has been
failing.
going on from he was 3 years old.
Exactly, from he was in the early childhood
Right.
institution.
So from 3 years old until now, he's suffering some form of abuse at the hands of teachers.
Exactly.
And you as a parent, you have reported it. That's the most important thing.
Right. I did my part.
You did the police, you
Right.
did the school,
Right.
you did the ministry, and you did those
Right.
in between.
Right.
And to this day, no resolution whatsoever.
No resolution.
Not even compensated for the medical bills.
Not
you
even
paid.
for the medical.
All right. So, do you have in mind any solutions for children like yours?
Well, I think because what happened, you know, I've spoken to, I told her that I did an assessment, right? And based on his educational level, right? His education level, they would not put him in a special institution because he doesn't have a learning disability, right? So if they put him in...
He's not a defined special needs child.
Right.
Okay.
So they would not put him, it would only hold him back.
Right.
He will not learn, he will not progress. His education is very high, so they will not put him in an institution
so
of such.
He doesn't have a learning disability.
Right.
He has an hyperactivity challenge.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he fidgets.
Yeah.
He displays a lot more energy than the rest. So he has to keep going, you know.
Right.
You asked about solution. I believe that they should have, you know, for children like my child, because there's a lot of them out there. Let me tell you, mental disorder, we have a lot of children suffering out there, and instead of the relevant persons doing something about it, they instead speak negative about these children, saying that they are bad children, right? But they're not bad. They can't control the fact that they have to just keep going.
Maybe the teachers aren't trained to deal with them.
Some teachers are trained. They have some sort of form of training that they go through. They just don't want to bother.
So they're not applying that training.
Right, they don't want to bother.
So they choose to just resort to beating.
Right, that's the best way for them.
Yes.
It's easier for them.
Physical abuse is their solution.
Exactly.
To children with needs.
It's a form of bullying. So they bully the children, they get them to fear them and all of that. But they don't think about the of it. There is consequences when you do that, because they can develop other mental disorder. You understand?
Yes.
They can develop other mental disorder when they are being bullied, when they are being classed out as bad behaving children. And that is why if you check out Jamaica now, the crime rate is very high.
Absolutely.
Why? Because the first thing you teach the children to do is to raise their hand.
Exactly.
If you
You're
keep
using
saying the
violence.
Bible tell you that, train up a child in the way that he should go. If the first thing you do is to beat the pitney, you tell the pitney say if something not go right for him or she,
Choose
then
violence.
you're going to have to do that to get it
Yes.
to be
You're
rectified.
teaching violence.
Exactly.
Let me hear from your son. Let's bring her son on. Yes. So we're gonna hear from Junior now,
Right.
and we're gonna come, and so you're going to guide him so that he can speak comfortably.
Yes. He
So-
spoke to the guidance counselor, and trust me,
Yes.
there's a lot
Here
of
we go.
information
Sit in mommy's
that-
lap for me.
that he had revealed, even some things that I don't even know about.
All right. So Junior, that's your name I'm giving you here. So tell me, No, it's okay. All right. So tell me about your experience in school.
Tell him about Southborough School. What happened at Southborough School? Don't be afraid to speak. Mommy's here, so you speak up, okay?
Go ahead.
I get injured one conk in my head here, and I get one cut right here.
Oh, so they give you a conk in your head, you say? And on your elbow? And on your knee? No, on your leg? Where? On your hand? On your head? Who did that? The teacher did that?
That's when
Look this way, look this way.
Grade
Grade 2?
picnic do that.
Sorry?
Grade 2 picnic do that.
A grade 2 child hit you in your head?
push him
you
down,
down.
and he said it's on a rock.
Right, so that's when your head was burst. And what else?
Tell him about your great teacher.
And
Speak up a little louder, sweetheart.
and
What's the name of the teacher back then?
No, you stay here. No,
Miss
no.
Jordan
I'm in this
And what
side.
did Miss Jordan do to you at school?
slapped me, put me on the ground with the arms, and anybody else can sit down on the ground.
So she slapped you and put you to sit by the ants
So,
on the ground?
yes, and she always drop me too.
She always what, drop you?
Drop me.
Drag him,
Oh,
and
she drag you hard. She
Yes.
pull you.
Yes.
What else? Do you enjoy going to school when you were there?
No.
No?
why you don't like to go to school? Why don't you like to go to school there?
Because teacher always abuse me.
Teacher always abuse you.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about that school?
Very sad. I'm very hungry too. Angry.
You're angry.
Yes, about it.
Tell us why you're angry, sweetheart.
Because the abuse at the school.
No worries. All right. So, tell me a little about you now. Just, I sense that you have some kind of appreciation for the social work environment and whatever. Tell us a little that you can share without giving away too much.
Okay. First of all, I must say that I love children, right? And I am a person that loves to advocate for rights. Right? So when I see things like these happening to children, though must be my own child, it touch a part of me that pushes me to react, to go into protection mode in some way or the other.
Right.
So that is exactly what is happening, and I believe that the ministry or the minister could have done a lot to prevent these things. They say, because when I spoke to the minister herself, she said that no child should be experiencing corporal punishment in school. But yet I am here reporting to you, and what do? Nothing.
Is it illegal?
Well, if it's not supposed to happen in school, it's illegal, obviously.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It is abuse. You're undermining the child. You should hear him when he's freely, when he's not so restricted. You should hear him speak about
When
things
he
that
comes home and he's
happen.
comfortable with you because you're his mom.
He,
So
he,
he
he-
just,
no, he's even speak to the counselor there. I'm
Okay.
telling you. Maybe because he's meeting you for the first time.
right.
Because he speaks to the counselor. The counselor go look at me and tell me, so the teacher even say, me for buy one table and one chair so that them can put him in one corner by himself. That alone, that is also abuse.
Of course.
Because people are supposed to socialize with each other.
Yes.
If you couldn't manage my child or my child's situation, you shouldn't take him to school in the first place.
Yeah.
You understand? So I had, because of all of the things that has been happening, you put him on the floor for sit down when he go to school. You make the other people them a mock him and a call him names in the classroom. You thump him on him hand. You lick him every minute. You beat him with a ruler. Every day him come home, there is always a problem. And become a talk about this when him get injured at school. The whole on stand off. Nobody no look on the pinny there. One side a bleed, head injury could have killed him. Nobody no do nothing. When I go back, after I deal with my pitney, go back in high school for talk to the principal, the secretary come tell me, say the principal said school over. So nobody no busy about nothing, nobody no busy about my pitney. My child has been out of school for a while because of the injury. Nobody no call or find out how the child been, nothing at all. You understand, the pitney exists.
And so far, you have not gotten a letter or anything from the Ministry of Education.
Not the only letter that I've written gotten from Region 6 is when I wrote to them, and we're supposed to have meeting, which I went up there on numerous occasions, and we got nowhere because they are being disrespectful. They are trying to tell me indirectly that I should, just forget about that. He even saying to me that, me have so much time. So me not represent my opinion none at all. And when me talk against that, no, you're shouting and you're being disrespectful to me because I'm not supposed to look out for my pitney. You understand?
It's very serious.
So it is quite frightening, and the sad thing about it, the teacher even admits in the presence of the principal and the vice principal that she did slap the child. Because when I went to her to verify if something goes off true, because some people say pitney lie, right? Me know my child. I know say not tell me no lie, but nevertheless, me still go to her to verify. Do you know what the teacher said to me? The teacher, Miss Jordan, said to me, I am not disputing what your son said. This is her own word. I am not disputing what your son said, and I'm not saying that he's lying. That is her own word. So that alone tells you that she admits to what she has done. Yeah. After that, a meeting was held. And she changed up her word and said she just slapped the pitney.
Oh.
But still, she admit that she slapped the pitney, and she said it in front of the principal and the vice principal, and they still did nothing.
Wow.
The principal was aware of Mr. Brown, who had beaten him before. But they tried to downplay everything. Yes, and before we close, just one more quick thing. I just want to say that I recently got him in a school in late January, and the abuse continues.
All right. Well, we are very sorry to hear about this, and our goal now is to make sure that this is communicated to the rest of Jamaica,
yes,
and that the Minister of Education knows that this cannot be allowed to continue. So stay tuned for more, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Okay, will do. All right. Junior, nice to meet you.
One Jamaica TV.